AT&T connects and ode to podcasts.
Connect the alarm, change the podcast you stream. Connect the snooze, 10 more minutes to dream. Connect the shower, lather up with the news, sports talk, comedians, or movie reviews. Connect with that 3-hour philosophy show. Change the drive into work and traffic so slow. Connect the dishes to voices that glow. Thank you to the geniuses of spoken audio.
Connect the stories, change your perspective. Connecting changes everything. AT&T.
You hear that? That's the awkward silence of a family dinner after you just got caught vaping. Most vapes contain high levels of nicotine and disappointment. Brought to you by The Real Cost and the FDA.
This podcast brought to you by Ring. This holiday, give the gifts that keep on giving with Ring Video doorbells, cams, and alarm. Find gifts that help handle all those deliveries.
Hey, again? Leave it behind the chair.
Gifts that tell you when creatures are stirring.
Biscuit, get away from the ornaments. Good girl.
And gifts that deliver peace of mind during your holiday travel.
Away and armed.
Find something for everyone at Ring.com. Shop great gifts for any home at Ring.com.
The following is a snippet of an exclusive members-only podcast episode for our Patreon, Chronicles Tifosi. Become a member at patreon.com/Serie A Chronicles for regular bonus episodes and content.
You don't realize how far-reaching it is, or how, for example, even the French national team, it was Theo Hernandez, it was Rabiot, it was Giroud, right? Mm-hmm. Those were the guys that were making the difference. It's Serie A guys,
Well, you can't change the fact that there are players from Serie A doing important things this World Cup. I mean, to talk about the England-USA game sort of quickly, I think the reality is that I thought that McKennie and Dest and their dynamic on that flank was a really important part of what happened in that game. It was not the most entertaining game to watch. It was a sort of really pivotal game for both countries, and I think there was a certain feeling on both sides actually that a draw was fine, because for England, obviously, a draw makes it almost impossible that they won't go through. They'd have to get really thumped by Wales now not to go through. And for USA, it lets them get into the position that they want to get into, which is bring the whole group down to a one-off match against Iran. If you win that game, then you're going to go through. But actually, yeah, McKennie and Dest, I thought, was such a clear thought about dynamic in terms of what Greg Berhalter wanted to do. That was the one side where the US did sort of push a little bit in the first half, was the side where they tried to sort of, if they were going to force England back, was on that side of the pitch. The fact that they sort of, McKennie was playing more as a winger than as a central midfielder. It was a sort of shift to a 4-4-2 rather than a 4-3-3, which was obviously, again, something that had been thought about because they do play 4-3-3 most of the time. It was interesting that those two players, I thought that even as I was watching them, I was like, is this my Serie A viewpoint or is this genuinely? But I think it was. I think that side of the pitch was really important to the US. And it was also really important at some point, especially in the second half, that both those players were on a booking from the first game. And, Simone Inzaghi in my head saying to me, oh, well, they're still on the pitch. If they get a booking, they're going to miss the last group game.
I was thinking about Inzaghi the whole time as well. There was a player that got a yellow card in the 6th minute. I was like, what would Inzaghi do now?
But, Berhalter took the opposite approach and didn't take either of them off until the last 10 minutes. I thought he left his substitutions too late, really. So yeah, he was less afraid than Inzaghi would be. What do you make of England so far, Mina? I'm conscious that we do have a lot of our audience comes from England and the US, so these are interesting teams to talk about. What do you make of England so far, going from that 6-2 into a 0-0? Do you think that there was, this is the true England, or do you think it's just not that deep?
It depends, because when England click and when their squad on paper, let's put it that way, on paper, I think this is one of the best squads in the World Cup. Become a member at patreon.com/Serie A Chronicles for regular bonus episodes and content.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day, and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry, with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.